Nah, just playing. Alex the Car Doctor back with another interesting video today. Today I'm gonna be discussing shocks today with you guys. I have one of my favorite cars, and I'm gonna show you why it's my favorite car. And this is why it's my favorite car right here.
That's
pretty bad, huh?
Yeah.
Walking away from it and still bouncing. The reason it's doing that because of shocks. Right, today I'm gonna be talking to you guys about shocks. On that car that I just got out of, the rear shocks was terrible. And I wanted to educate you guys on a couple of things because shocks are very important. It could be safety related as well. The reason why the shocks basically keep the wheels on the ground. After a car hit a bump, the car is, it keeps the wheels planted to the ground. If the shocks are bad, your wheels will go basketballing across the pavement. That's not good. This gentleman, he explained to me what happened to him. He said he felt like he was in Tokyo Drift. He hit a bump and the car basically went sideways on him. So very scary stuff. It can also ruin your tires as well. So after I kind of explained to you how shocks work and what they look like, I will go into what to look for when checking for bad shocks and how to test them at home. So this is a strut assembly. This is basically the whole assembly that you'll find on pretty much all your modern day cars. You have your spring and you have your shock in the middle. They just call it a strut assembly. So when the shock goes out, the spring just go rapid. It's a spring, so it's like bouncing a basketball. When they go out, you will notice some fluid leakage around like the base. It'll look very oily. This is not a good example. I don't think I'm gonna find a good example today. But this is the strut assembly without the spring on it. And how this works is you have this piston and rod, and when they're good, it'll slowly pump back up. But kind of more rapid than that. This one kind of gets stuck sometime. That's why I was in my scrap bin. But this one was okay, but it's controlled spring rebound by putting pressure on the spring. So you can't really rapidly pull it back up. And that's how that works. So yeah, this one is okay. But anyway, they'll leak hydraulic oil around these seams, and when that happens, this rod will start moving freely, and that's what's going on with that other car next door. I think that's all I want to say dealing with normal shocks. Now also you'll have air springs as well, but they still have a shock in them, but instead of the spring right here, you will have an airbag. And you can normally find that set up on like your Lincolns, some Cadillacs, high-end luxury cars, BMWs, Mercedes, something else I'm forgetting. But you get the idea, yeah, high-end luxury cars. And yeah, instead of a harsh spring, you have kind of an air ride feel, much smoother. Let me take you over back to the red car, and I'm gonna show you how to do a quick test to see if your suspension is bad. I think they're making some noise over there right now, so bear with me. Well, better yet, let me just go tell them to be quiet. I'll be right back. Turn that compressor off for me for a brief minute. All right, so back to the red car. I want to show you how to do a rebound test to really check for your shocks and see if they're good or not. So basically, you're gonna get in front of the car, well, on the side of the car, and push down real hard. Like, try to push it all the way down. It compresses it, and when it comes back up, it should come back up one time. like so. See how I just go down and come right back up? But that's good spring control. Unlike the rear, I do it one time, it just keeps bouncing. So you can kind of see it's kind of basketball. If I try it real hard, I can actually make this wheel pop up off the ground, but I'm not gonna do that. It's a customer car, gotta be nice. If it was my car, oh man, y'all will see some great funny things. I'm gonna take you over to another vehicle to show you what it looks like on the vehicle. So this is the strut assembly on the vehicle. As you see, the upper portion is attached to the body of the vehicle. The lower portion is attached to the knuckle, or the steering knuckle is called in the front, but it's just the knuckle in the rear. And most of the time you'll see the sway bar connected to the suspension, the strut assembly as well. Let me show you how it looks on the front. So what's different about this one on the front is the whole strut assembly pivots, and that's due to the spinning section on the strut assembly. I don't have any good examples of like a regular, like an old style where you just have a shock. And I'm gonna explain that to you back over. I'm gonna go have another seat and explain that to you real quick. So that's just your average strut assembly on the vehicles. They're much more compact, much better design in my opinion. That's why you see them so often. But I want to explain some other things to you. On most heavy duty vehicles, they still use the regular just shock and spring setup, or leaf spring setup. Now let's pretend for a moment this is going to be a regular shock. A regular shock will, like I said, let's pretend if you would take this bracket off, it'll just be a tube, and that's what we're pretending this is a tube. And this will be fixated to, let's say, an axle, and the upper portion will be fixated to the body. Okay, so, and it'll basically serve the same purpose. You will have either a spring, like just a one little coil spring setup, somewhere smashed in between the suspension, and then off to the side you'll have the shock. So it'll look sort of like this. Spring here and the shock here. Now, that's dealing with a spring. You also have leaf springs. And basically what that is just, it's like flat sheet, I don't want to say sheet metal, pieces of steel that's flattened out and it's layered on, maybe layered 2 to 3 leaf springs layered on top of each other. And that kind of works as a spring. I think I have a quick example on my scrap metal trailer. Speaking of scrap metal trailer, I'm gonna throw these back in, and I'm gonna show you, see if I can show you the leaf spring design.
It's hot.
Huh?
It's hot out here.
I know. Oh, perfect example. All right, so this is, I was gonna show it to you on that, but this is exposed. Here's a leaf spring design. So you have these big long leaf springs, and as you can see, it's 3 of these. This one's kind of out of place, but 1, 2, 3, and we have a lot of stuff missing on this suspension. But anywho, the shock went right here, was bolted to right here, and I'm assuming that the other portion went to the knuckle, the turning portion. So that's how that works. I think I pretty much covered it all. Dealing with the suspension.
Go ahead and tell them the story with this truck so they won't be like, what the heck?
So, yeah, this is weird. Looks very weird and looks crazy, I'm pretty sure. I have a customer that have a 60-something cab over tractor. I think they called it it's a Ford cab over. It has a big block gasoline engine in it. I think maybe a 444 or something like that. I forgot the engine size, but anywho, he want to convert it to a diesel, and I talked him into getting a 7.3. So I will be converting that into a 7.3. So that's one of my other projects that's coming.
So it's a parts truck. It's not
Yeah,
just
this is a parts truck.
somebody's
So
random car sitting out here.
yeah, but this is what I was gonna show you guys, my metal trailer, and I'll show you briefly. If you look up in here, you can see the coil spring. I mean, not coil springs, but the leaf springs. And let me show them the shock. So bam, there you have the shocks right here. I got a spider web on the end of my finger, so that's how that works. Bam. All right. So I think that pretty much wraps up this video. I don't think I have anything else to share with you guys dealing with suspension, well, shocks. I'm just strictly talking about shocks here. Now, if you want to know what it does to tires, check out my tire video. I kind of explain very well. Check it out in the description. I'll put a link somewhere. Check that out. Yeah, check that out. But anywho, Alice the Car Doctor out. If you have any questions pertaining to this vehicle, like always, write down in the comments. Put your 2 cents in. I love hearing from you guys. See you on the next video. Alice the Car Doctor out.